Hello everyone, it's Giant 2B and
Hopeless Romance.
And we're bringing another fine fan fiction, My Lion King, Simba's Pride and the Next Generation, Chapter 5, A Royal Return in San Francisco.
Music written by Marty Panzer, Thomas Snow, Jack Feldman, and Jerry Martin.
And all Copa belongs to Walt Disney Animation Studios. Anything recognizable, not recognizable, belongs to me, and art belongs to you, Hopeless Romance. Here we go, Chapter 5, A Royal Return in San Francisco. The next morning, Simba and Kiara rose to see Sweetie approaching from the southeast.
Good morning, Your Majesty and Princess Kiara. The bluebird landed and bowed deeply before Simba and Kiara.
Good morning, Mr. Sweetie. What would you like? Simba asked. The bird shuffled
Well,
his...
sire, before sunrise on the southeastern border, I saw two lions approaching our border. One was a very light cream-colored lion, almost white, I swear, with a light brown mane and green eyes. The other was a sandy-tan pregnant lioness with green eyes also. What should we do? The concerned bird asked.
As he shuffled his feathers. Simba perked up when he heard the description. Did you say almost white, Sweetie?
Yes, sir.
Simba smiled. Don't worry about it then. That's my brother-in-law, Mitu, and his wife, Ashanti. He began to walk away before turning around to see the bird still standing there. Well, come on, Mr. Sweetie. Let's give them a royal welcome.
As he began to head back toward Pride Rock with Kiara, Nala and Bluey appeared to Simba's delight. Good morning, my handsome king, Nala seductively said as she approached him.
Simba smiled and whispered, Good morning, sweet lips. The two briefly nuzzled each other, giving each other a light kiss on the lips. To Kiara's horror, the cub put a pause over her eyes, recalling from what she considered gross to the sight.
Luckily for her, Bluey soon interrupted her parents. Sire, Duke Mitu and his wife Ashanti are here.
Simba sighed. Yes, I know that, Mr. Bluey. Sweetie just told me that.
Nala smiled at Simba. Well then, let's not stand around. Let's go and greet my brother and my dear sister. While five of them went toward the southeast to see the two lions in the distance, Nala spotted her brother and ran toward him.
The five of them went towards the lions in the distance. Nala spotted her brother and ran towards him with delight.
Mitu, you're okay.
She embraced her dear brother and potential death grip. Can't breathe. Nala released him, looked up, and her brother coming up to see, continuing to see him. It's great to see you, big sis, he said happily.
Why did you take so long, Nala asked.
Well, as you can tell, we spent a little too much time in the jungle, which is exactly what you told us to do, Ashanti chuckled at her mate.
Ashanti chuckled at her mate's statement.
Then Mitu looked down to see Kiara by her father's paw. He smiled. Is that my little niece, Kiara? My, how have you grown, Mitu said happily.
Kiara hid shyly behind her father, peeking out at the new strange lions. Simba looked down at his daughter, chuckling.
It's okay, Kiara. They're family. You could talk to them. Kiara cautiously stepped up behind her father's paw. Looked at her uncle.
Hello? Who are you?
Mitu chuckled. I'm your Uncle Mitu, and this is your Aunt Ashanti. Meanwhile, back in San Francisco.
Copa awoke to a chilly but sunny 65-degree day in the San Francisco Zoo. He blinked, his vision focusing on a pair of violet eyes staring at him. Copa gave a start of his own, as his own eyes startled. From what he could see, the owner of those amethyst gems was a sandy brown lioness with a fringe of bangs.
Hello? Copa squeaked. He didn't know where he was again or who he was with.
jelly accent. She slowly advanced on him, giving him a seductive smile that would have melted most male lions.
Copa moved back a few steps and paces for some ungodly reason. Hi? Where am I? And why is it so cold around here?
The lioness raised her eyebrows, giving him a very provocative wink. Like, we're in the San Francisco Zoo, hot stuff, and I can warm you up. The lioness headed closer to Copa.
Copa had his eyes move side to side. No thanks. I don't know you, and I already have a girlfriend. Copa began to shy away from the lioness. Why, we will never know.
The lioness simpered a little. Oh, come on. We can make this work. My name's Jenna. What's yours?
Jenna, why are you here?
So, she said, still smiling. What's your name, cutie? She asked again.
It's Copa, and that's all I'm going to tell you? He said, started running away from her.
Are you, scared? I just want to keep you warm, the horny lioness said.
Now, if Copa had been older, he would have been no means running, but unfortunately, he did not realize what keep warm meant. Copa ran around the huge lion's habitat and looked similar to the Pride Lands, trying to flee from advances of the lustful lioness before when she caught up and managed to hide behind a rock and overlooking the wall over the ocean.
Copa, come on. You feel totally fun.
Jenna called out in her search. After looking around the lion habitat for 20 minutes, she sighed and gave up her search.
Well, I can't find you. Fine. Whatever.
Unbeknownst to all around, Copa was hiding in a fairly weak wall. He hid behind the rock, and still the litigious feline was still looking for me. He soon felt a tremor in the earth beneath his feet. He didn't know it began a small earthquake was occurring right below his feet. It was a 3.0 on the Richter scale, nothing to report since there was nothing to disrupt anything amongst humans. But it was enough to damage to already destroy the weakened wall, causing a portion of the wall to collapse a few feet away from him. Copa looked around in surprise. What the hell was that? He said, scared, as he never experienced an earthquake before. Luckily, Copa saw an opening created by the wall that collapsed. Without another thought, he decided to make a break for it. Copa thought the lioness was in pursuit of him, so he protected Boy Toy. Then Copa ran through the hole and found himself along a sandy beach, unusually empty for the day.
He was pretty thirsty and knew the massive blue he was across the sand was water. Without another thought, he sprinted towards the ocean for a drink. Unfortunately, he was not expecting salt water.
Blah! Yuck! What type of water is this? And what type of city has moving ground? He exclaimed. Copa headed along the beach and found a parked double Muni Metro L train with its doors open on Sloat Avenue. He didn't know what it was, but he could certainly smell what was inside. Food.
The operator of the Metro was cleaning his cab when he saw Copa running toward his train. Shocked and frightened, the operator ran out in a panic and accidentally punched the automatic mode button. As Copa jumped inside the train, the doors closed and the train began moving at full speed.
Now that Copa was trapped on a Muni Metro train traveling about 60 miles per hour up and down the hills of the Terraville neighborhood, fortunately it didn't get very far. Copa felt a huge amount of force, sending him flying and smashed, heading into a slow-moving one-car K train entering West Portal Station, since there was no operator to manage the switch track. As soon as he got to his feet, Copa jumped out of the train and began running again, truly terrified but could hear thousands of humans at the same time.
All he could hear was his heel screaming for the humans around him, and his heart
The sound of police sirens reached his ears.
As soon as he heard that noise, he bolted, remembering what happened the last time he heard that sound. He headed to a dark cave where he thought they wouldn't find him, which was, unfortunately for him, the entrance to the subway.
Almost all the people I passed him in short were strange, were terrified in the looks, except for the San Franciscans at the Castro. They ignored Copa since bizarre occurrences were very common in that neighborhood. Luckily for Copa, the subway was closed. The police had shut down all the stations in the metro collision. Copa had run 5 miles to end up at the heart of downtown San Francisco at the Powell Muni BART station. People were running as Copa upstairs of the cable cars. Copa couldn't believe all the people of the world in just in one city. The cable car men, stunned at the line coming at the subway, left the car spinning in slow motion.
Street, past the crowds of stampeding humans, into a scene of even more chaos. Copa ran up Powell Street and noticed it was starting to get steeper and steeper. What type of city is this, he thought. He soon found himself in a state of anarchy, right in the middle of Union Square.
Shoppers and tourists fled while drivers that passed the line crashed into cars into each other in pure shock. Soon the police had him surrounded from the old Chancellor Hotel. Looked like this was the end for Copa.
Was a little down in the slum. A young billionaire that was 5'7" and had dark brown hair and dark brown eyes, that made his money in the stock market and was an owner of several construction companies and software companies. And to his chagrin, he found himself on the phone having a rather unpleasant conversation with his banker. "Sir, I can't help it. The hotel will have to foreclose if it doesn't get more guests to stay there," said the banker.
So what do I have to do to get the hotel up and making it make money again? Jonny asked the banker on the phone. What? How much? Before he had a chance to reply, a large warning lash on the screen of his 60-inch LED TV screen had just blown across the screen of breaking news of a local lion escaped the line and the dangerous 60-inch LED television. Jonny looked at the screen in shock and his light bulb came into his head. Wait a minute, hold that thought, I have an idea. With that, he hung up before turning to his servants. Mike, my limo. Doris, call the mayor and tell him to call the animal control and the police and then wait and have them hold everything until I arrive at the Chancellor. That lion might save my situation. You'll see. Jonny had a lot of influence in the city, and he was close friends with the mayor, Edwin Lee. What he wanted was usually what he wanted when he got it with the mayor.
The servants did as they were told, and Jonny grabbed his black leather jacket before heading out to his limo.
Back in San Francisco,
Copa was terrified. He had nowhere to run, and at least had two dozen guns aimed at him by disgruntled SFPD officers. Just before they were about to shoot at him, the mayor's limo pulled up. Copa looked up as soon as he heard the words, "Don't shoot unless he looks like he's about to attack. Please step away."
then Johnny's limo soon rushed into the blockade. Copa looked up to see the brown-eyed human in a leather jacket step out of the limo. Jonny shook Mayor Lee's hand for the press and photographers as hemmed as the scene, before turning to Copa and began to approach cautiously. For some reason, Copa felt something in his heart that felt that he could trust this short human in the black leather jacket. It's okay, I'm not gonna hurt you, Copa. I'm here to get you out. Jonny said soothingly as he approached Copa, hands raised in his gesture in a peace symbol. Copa looked at the human incredibly, his head cocked to the side as he glanced wearily as the police were nearby. Jonny stepped out of the limo and looked down at the scene.
I think he's afraid of the police.
Jonny nodded and turned away. Mayor, just been out of the police. I think I can handle this. The cops looked at the mayor as he was crazy, but nonetheless began vacating the scene, leaving only a few curious onlookers and the photographers in San Francisco Chronicle.
News crew were astonished to see the lion so calm as Jonny knelt down by him. After reassuring Copa he would be trusted,
Jonny turned to his driver. Mike, call up Alfred's Steakhouse and have them whip up one of their steaks to go. Tell them it's from me.
Yes, sir, Mike responded before getting out of his cell. Copa heard the word steak and immediately started to pan in hunger. You really like steaks. Shall I get a cage, sir? Mike said, a little unnerved by the young lion.
No, I think we have an understanding. Come on. Let's get on the phone, take me and my guests to the restaurant, and off to the East Bay to the Walnut Creek house. Well, come on, I don't have all day.
Yes, sir. Mike had the door to the limo open.
Mike had the door to the limo open, and Copa jumped into the limo. Jonny then motioned him to enter. The crowd disbanded, and the limo left, leaving only the photographer, reporters, and of the Chronicle and other news crews to stay for the night. And the local San Francisco stations were covering this amazing story. I'm Johnny Tooby.
And I'm Hopeless Romance.
And we bring another fine fanfic, Chapter 5, A Royal Return in San Francisco. All music belongs to Marty Panzer, Thomas Snow, Jack Feldman, and Jerry Munn. Thank you and have a good night.